If you've cleaned up your diet, you cut the sugar, you started moving your body, and you're still not seeing results in perimenopause or menopause, I need you to hear this, okay? I need you to hear this. It's not it's not what you're eating, okay? It's when. It's when. And that one shift for what to when is going to change everything about how you approach your health for the rest of 2026, okay? Hello, everybody. I am Miriam Fajay. I'm a functional nutritionist and gut hormone specialist. And y'all, today we're going to talk about one of the most overlooked drivers of metabolic dysfunction in perimenopause, menopause, chronobiology, your body's internal clock, and why hormone imbalance over 40 responds so differently to the same inputs that you used in your 30s. Okay. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why your body isn't broken. Okay. And what it actually needs from you. Y'all ready? Are you ready? And I'm going to show you the four metabolic patterns that I use and what each one needs to finally get your body working with you. Okay, so y'all stay with me. Okay, all right, stay with me. So I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you something. How many of you have done everything right? Clean eating, movement, supplements, cutting the sugar, tracking the macros, and still felt like your body was not responding? Well, this is the most common question I hear from women over 40. Why can't I lose the weight like I did, easily now that I'm in perimenopause, menopause, and I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything right. And I spent years, y'all, watching women, including myself, to be honest, in my practice, do all the right things and still struggle. So listen, they were not lazy. They were not inconsistent. They weren't missing information. There's tons of it out there, right? They were missing timing. Timing. They were not missing a what. They were missing a when. And the reason this matters so much more in perimenopause and menopause than it did, say, in your 30s, well, it comes down to one thing, y'all. Your hormonal buffer is gone. Let me explain it. So in your 30s, your body had enough hormonal resilience to absorb timing errors. You could skip breakfast. You could eat late. You could push through a 10 p.m. workout and your body would compensate. Okay. I remember doing all of that in my 30s and 20s. In perimenopause and menopause, y'all, the buffer is gone. So your margin for timing error has shrunk dramatically. Okay. And your symptoms are the signal. Your symptoms are the signal: the fatigue, the weight that won't shift, the sleep disruption, the mood crashes, the afternoon brain fog. These are not random. They are your body's clock telling you something is out of sync. Okay. And listen, no amount of what fixes a broken when. WHEN. So here's what you may not have known about in perimenopause or menopause, y'all. Your metabolism is not a math equation. It is a clock. A clock. Your body doesn't just ask, what did you give me? Your body asks, what time is it? What time is it? Your body runs on two types of rhythms, okay? Circadian rhythms. This is the 24-hour light, dark cycle that governs cortisol, melatonin, insulin sensitivity, body temperature, and digestion. This is what disrupted circadian rhythm in menopause and perimenopause looks like day to day. This is what it looks like. Your body trying to run a program that no longer has reliable anchors. Okay. And then ultradian rhythms. Okay. That's the 90 to 120 minute cycles throughout your day that regulate energy and focus and hormonal pulsing. Now, these are the natural ebb and flow your body moves through, whether you're paying attention to them or not. Okay. This is what happens. Now, these aren't preferences. These are not lifestyle tips. They are biology, okay? Biology. And here's what perimenopause and menopause does to them. Declining estrogen disrupts your circadian rhythm directly. Estrogen helps anchor your melatonin timing, your cortisol curve, your overnight temperature regulation. When estrogen drops, and especially when it fluctuates erratically in perimenopause, menopause, your internal clock gets noisy. Cortisol peaks at the wrong time. Insulin sensitivity shifts later in the day. When you're eating less, not more, right? Melatonin comes too late. So you lie awake at 11 o'clock at night, even when you are exhausted. And also growth hormone release during sleep, it gets disrupted. So recovery slows and body composition shifts. Your body's timing system is dysregulated, and no amount of what fixes a broken when. Now, here's where it gets specific. And this is the part I want you to pay really close attention to, okay? Because the timing errors that are costing you the most are not the same for every woman. They depend on which of four metabolic patterns is running your body right now, okay? That's what it depends on. Now, once I walk you through these, you're going to know exactly which one is yours. Okay? All right. In my practice, y'all, I work with four metabolic patterns in perimenopausal, menopausal women. Now, these are not diagnoses, okay, or diagnoses. They are the patterns that show up again and again in the blood work, the symptom histories, and the lifestyle timelines. Okay. Now, I call them the four metabolic archetypes, and each one has a specific timing error that's quietly undermining everything else that she's doing right or that you're doing right. Okay. Now, listen for the one that sounds like you. Y'all ready? You ready? Cortisol-Wired. This woman is exhausted but wired. She can't wind down at night even when she's bone tired. She often wakes between 2 and 4 in the morning with her mind already running. She feels like she's always one step away from overwhelm, even on a calm day. Her timing error, she's skipping breakfast or delaying it significantly, like waiting until 10, 11, or noon because she's not hungry, right? She's not hungry in the morning, so she's not eating. Now, that's not a preference. That's a suppressed hunger signal from sustained cortisol elevation. Now, here's the cascade I want to explain to you. When you skip breakfast, blood glucose drops. Your body treats that as a stress signal, and your body releases more cortisol to compensate, to mobilize glucose and keep you functioning. So you're not just skipping a meal, okay? You're triggering a cortisol response before 9 in the morning. That cortisol then suppresses your hunger hormones further. So 11 a.m. arrives and you're still not hungry. You wait until noon. You finally eat, and it's larger than it would have been because your body is now running on stress hormones. Blood sugar spikes, insulin floods in. By 3 in the afternoon, you're crashing hard. You're reaching for caffeine or sugar to get through the afternoon. That caffeine pushes cortisol higher, which keeps you wired at night, which disrupts your sleep, which raises baseline cortisol the next morning. That is not a willpower problem. That is a timing loop. Okay. It's a timing loop. And intermittent fasting in perimenopause, menopause can backfire hard, especially for this pattern. Okay. Specifically because extended fasting windows are read by the body as a threat, not a strategy. For a cortisol-wired woman, the most powerful metabolic intervention is eating within 60 to 90 minutes of waking. Not because of calories, because of cortisol. Okay, because of cortisol. Now, another pattern, Insulin-Inflamed. Now, this woman is dealing with stubborn weight, especially in the midsection, the belly area, abdominal area, despite eating what she considers a healthy diet. She has energy crashes, often after her meals. She may have been told her blood work looks normal, but she feels anything but normal. Perimenopause, menopause, insulin resistance is frequently the driver, and it often goes unrecognized because her fasting glucose hasn't crossed the threshold that triggers a diagnosis yet. Her timing error is the dinner problem. Your insulin sensitivity, your body's ability to efficiently process carbohydrates and glucose, is highest in the morning and drops progressively throughout the day. By evening, it's at its lowest. And this shift is more pronounced in perimenopause, menopause, because estrogen plays a direct role in insulin sensitivity. Less estrogen means less metabolic flexibility. So when the insulin-inflamed woman eats her largest meal, which is mostly carbohydrate heavy, right, at dinner, which most of us do this, because that's when we finally sit down and we eat together as a family. Well, she's doing it at the exact moment her body is least equipped to handle it. Now, the result of a carbohydrate heavy dinner, elevated insulin overnight, inflammation while she sleeps, fat storage instead of fat burning during the hours that she should be in repair mode. And she wakes up tired, puffy, and reaching for coffee to compensate. It's not the food, it's not the carbs, it's the timing. The timing. Moving her most substantial eating earlier in the day, even slightly, is often the single shift that breaks a plateau that she could probably have been in, for years. Now, if you are still with me, and I hope that you are, I want you to stay close for the next two patterns, okay? Because the third one in particular, is the most misdiagnosed of the four. Most women and a lot of practitioners will think it's anxiety. It's not. It's a clock problem. Estrogen-stuck. This woman might feel relatively okay during the day. She's functional. She's managing. But come evening, something shifts. She gets a second wind around 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Suddenly, she's alert. She's productive. She's creative. She tells herself she's a night person. And then she's wide awake at midnight when she should be asleep, or she falls asleep just fine and wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Her heart may be racing. She might be unable to get back to sleep. Her mind is spinning. Listen, waking up at 3 in the morning in perimenopause or menopause is one of the most searched symptoms I hear from this community. And the answer almost always traces back to this pattern. And here's why. Let me tell you why. Estrogen helps anchor melatonin onset, the signal that tells your body it's time to downshift and prepare for sleep. When estrogen fluctuates, that anchor it loosens. Melatonin timing shifts later. Your body's natural wind down signal arrives at midnight instead of 9 p.m. And at 3 a.m., a drop in blood sugar triggers a cortisol release, the body's way of mobilizing glucose when levels fall too low overnight. For an estrogen-stuck woman, that cortisol spike is amplified. She wakes and she can't get back down to sleep because her nervous system is now in low-grade alert. Her timing error is evening light and late stimulation. Screens, bright overhead lighting, mentally activating content past 8 p.m. all suppress the melatonin that's already struggling to arrive on time. Now, the fix isn't a supplement first. It's light timing. It's building a biological wind down window so estrogen's weakened melatonin signal actually has a chance to land. Okay. And the fourth one, y'all, I call it T3 downregulated. Now, this woman is often the most frustrated because she's done everything. She's eating clean, she's exercising consistently, she's sleeping reasonably well, but her body feels like it's running in slow motion. She's cold when other people in the room are warm. Her hair is probably thinning, her mood is flat, her workouts stopped producing results. She may have had her thyroid tested and been told it's normal, but T3, the active form of thyroid hormone, often doesn't show up on standard panels. And in perimenopause or menopause, the conversion from T4 to T3 is highly sensitive to cortisol, okay? Which means her timing era is her exercise window. The best time to exercise in perimenopause, menopause for this pattern shifts significantly from what she may have been doing for years. High intensity exercise in the late afternoon, like a 5 or 6 p.m. HIIT class, a hard run after work. Well, this produces a cortisol spike at the exact time her body is trying to down regulate. That cortisol elevation suppresses T3 conversion. So she's working hard, creating cortisol and actively blunting the thyroid hormone her metabolism needs. The 6 p.m. HIIT class that was, working great at age 35 is working against her now at say age 45. Shifting high intensity exercise to the morning when cortisol is naturally elevated anyway, and moving evenings toward restorative movement can begin to shift T3 conversion within weeks, okay? Not months, weeks. Now, these aren't four versions of the same problem. There are four different clocks, and each one needs a different reset. Now, if you were nodding along to one of those patterns just now, listen, that recognition is data. That's data. It means your body has been trying to tell you something and you just heard it. Woohoo, okay. Listen, my gut hormone pattern quiz, y'all, it takes that recognition that you just had and it makes it precise. It identifies which of these four archetypes is running your metabolism right now. So instead of guessing, you actually know. And everything that you do next is built on that foundation. The quiz is free. It takes about 4 minutes, maybe 3. The link will be in the description below. Okay. Take it before we move into March. That is my recommendation, because what I'm about to share next is going to land very differently once you know your pattern. That's so important. You want to know your pattern. So, what does working with your biology's clock actually look like in practice? What does that actually look like? I'm not talking about a perfect protocol. I'm not talking about rebuilding your entire routine. Okay. I'm talking about three anchors, three anchors that when you shift them into alignment with your biology, everything else starts to reorganize around them. Okay. Ready? So here's anchor 1, your first meal. Not what you eat, when you eat it. When you eat it. Your first meal sets your cortisol rhythm, initiates insulin signaling, and it tells your circadian clock what time it is. Now, for so many women that I work with, this is the highest leverage shift they can make. Within 2 weeks, sleep improves, energy stabilizes, afternoon crashes, they start to soften. Okay. Anchor 2 is your movement window. When you move your body determines the hormonal environment your workout creates. Morning movement, even moderate, aligns with your natural cortisol peak and supports metabolic function throughout the day. Evening high intensity works against the downregulation that your body needs after 5 p.m. You don't have to work less hard. You have to work at the right time. Okay. And then anchor three is your light environment. your melatonin signal, okay, already compromised, by estrogen fluctuation in perimenopause and menopause, is exquisitely sensitive to light, okay? Overhead lighting, screen exposure, after 8 o'clock, it delays melatonin onset by about 60 to 90 minutes, which means that your biology, you're fighting it every single night and wondering why you can't wind down. So dimming your environment after 8 p.m. is not a luxury for a perimenopausal, menopausal woman. It's a metabolic strategy, okay? Now, these three anchors are what March, the month of March, is built on. The full rhythm shift protocol goes much deeper, but these are the entry points, okay? And which one you start with depends on your pattern. It just depends on your pattern. And this is why the quiz matters, y'all. This is why the gut hormone quiz matters, okay? So here's your homework before the month of March begins, okay? Number one, I want you to notice where you are. Where in your day you are working against your biology's clock instead of working with it. Now, this is not to try to fix it, okay? It's just to see it. Listen, that noticing is the beginning of everything. And then number two, I want you to take the gut hormone pattern quiz this week, okay? If you haven't already. Everything that we do in the month of March is filtered through your archetype. Now, the women who go in knowing their pattern are going to get results that look different from anything they've tried before. Okay? Now, that quiz again is the entry point. The link is in the description. It's totally free. It takes about 4 minutes and it will change the lens you use to read every piece of information that comes next. Okay? So I'm asking you to please don't skip it. Okay? Don't skip that. Now, listen, before you go, I want to leave you with one thing. All right. So stay with me for just a couple more seconds, please. I want you to place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Okay. One on your chest, one on your belly. And I want you to breathe in for 4 seconds and hold for 4 seconds and then breathe out slowly for 6. And as you exhale, I want you to say internally, my body knows how to find its rhythm. Y'all, that's not a small thing, okay? You just gave your nervous system a signal that it's been waiting for. That's the bridge from safety to rhythm, from February to March. Now, March is going to be specific, it's going to be practical, and genuinely different from anything that a lot of you have ever tried, okay? Because it's going to be built around your pattern, your clock, and your biology. If you're not in our community, the Nervous and Flow Circle, Ner- Nourish and Flow Circle, I want you to come in. Okay? The link to join us in the circle is in the description below as well. Talk to you soon. Take care.